Hi guys, I just wanted to clarify some things about the two-way table, the difference between the relative frequency and the percentages, which were the last three questions on the quizzes yesterday. So I found a worksheet that separated the two questions, and I'm going to use this to explain it to you. Today you'll be working on a quizzes that has more with just percentages, which is the bottom half of this worksheet. Okay, so in lesson 5.2, we actually talked about adding columns. So if you read this question, and it says, after a series of matches between the school's team and their rivals, the school secretary analyzed the relationship of the number of wins matched and match played. The results are summarized in the two-way table below. Okay, so they give you the information, they give you the three different sports and how many times the boys win and how many times the girls win. Okay. In lesson 5.2 from TMM, we found out that you can find the total for each column and row. So I'm going to add in red the total row, and total column. Okay, so another word, what I mean by that is if I wanted to find out the total of a number of boys that are winning on my calculator, let me show you that we are adding 23 plus 40 plus 15 to find out that the total number of boys win in all sports is going to be 78. That's why it's the sum of the column here. Same way, the number of girls winning, if I add the numbers, 18 for volleyball, 10 for cricket, and 25 for soccer, the total number is going to be 53 over here. Right? I can do the same exact thing for each row. It's just going to have a different meaning for the total. So between the boys winning 23 times and the girls winning 18 times for volleyball, there are a total of 41 wins for that sport. Same idea for cricket. If I add 40 and 10, it's going to be 50 total wins between the boys and girls for cricket. And the total for soccer is going to be 30-40. Now, whether I add, let me clear this out, 41 plus 50 plus 40, and let's think about what these numbers mean. This is the total number of wins for the volleyball, total number of wins for the cricket, total number of wins for the for soccer. So if you add them all together, that means that there were 131 total wins between each sport. And if I actually were to look at it this way, they were between the three sports, boys won 78 different things, and between the three sports, the girls won 53 things. So if I add those numbers together, 78 plus 53, 131. So the comment that I had left saying that the total of the row and the total of the column should always end up at 131. So the reason why I use two different colors is this is the total number of all students that, or all wins altogether. Okay? So keeping that in mind, if it says how many total wins did the school's volleyball team register, well, I'm looking at that row right here saying between boys and girls, the total number of wins for volleyball was 41. Since it's asking for the relative frequency, which is the total number, you're just really looking at the table to see what number belongs on there. Right? This one's a little bit tricky, and we'll answer a couple of other questions. How many more wins did the boys team have than the girls team have? So if I'm talking about that, what I need to do is compare the total number of wins for the boys and total number of wins for the girls and subtract them to see which one's going to be bigger by how much. Right? Looking at the table, we're really trying to figure out what part of the table we should be looking at. And if I want the total number of wins for the boys, I'm actually looking at this column and saying between the three sports, boys won 78. Same way, between the three sports, the girls won 53. So if I subtract those two numbers together, I'm going to get 25 games that the boys won in total more than the girls. Okay? Let's actually, not going to write the question, but let's do two more questions that I'm verbally going to talk about, 3 and 4. If I had told you to find the number of girls soccer, number of girls soccer wins, that'll be the number 25. Right? And if I told you to find the total number of soccer wins, I'm looking at that same row, but now it's boys and girls combined, so then I'm going to be talking about the total, the number 40 right there. Okay? So really, when we're asking about relative frequency, you're just looking at the chart to see what value or the number of count that is. Whereas, remember in percentage, before I actually do anything, let's talk about percentages. Percentages is success over total. And this is the fraction version. We can change it to a decimal and then move it twice for the percentage. This is the 7th grade curriculum. So let me read you the table for question number 2. The data summarizes a two-way table for the number of boys and girls that regularly drink water, soda, or lemonade at lunch. Okay. Again, just like in lesson 5.2 or the question above, you're going to be able to add the total row and column. Okay, let's add sideways. If I were to try to find out the total of people that drink water for lunch, I'd be adding 45, 32, 77 to get 154 total students drink water during lunch. Same thing, 50, 38, 88 is going to give me 176 people for total soda drinking for lunch, and 42, 32, 74 is going to give me a total of 148. Okay. On the other hand, the column sum is going to give you a different piece of information. So if I'm adding 45 plus 50 plus 42, I'm adding this column saying the number of boys that drink water for lunch, the number of boys that drink soda for lunch, and lemonade for lunch. So this 137 is going to tell me that in total there are, oops, sorry, I didn't even have to do the total. I didn't realize that this is a total column right here. There's 137 boys total. So this one actually should be red. And the girls column, same exact way. 32 plus 38 plus 32 is equal to 102. So there's 102 girls. Okay, so sorry, I added a column. You have the two columns, or the row and the column, and whether I add the 102 plus 137 and add the total number of boys that drink, with the total number of boys and add the total number of girls, I'll find out that there's 239 total number of students if I go sideways. Or if I were to add the 77 plus 88 plus 74, that should also give me 200, oh sorry, you can't see, 239. Okay. Now, keeping in mind that we have to do success over total, we're basically doing kind of a fraction with the numbers that are given here. So if it says, what is the percentage of boys that regularly drink water? Well, I have to find out of all the total number of boys, which is 137, the number of boys that drink water, well, 45 out of 137 boys are going to be drinking water. So if I were to write that 45 divided by 139 as a decimal, it's approximately 0.324, which moved the decimal place twice, and 32.4%. About a third of the students drink water regularly for lunch. Okay. Girls is the same exact thing, so let me skip over. What's the percentage of girls that regularly drink soda? Well, same exact idea. Out of the total number of girls, which is your denominator, so total number of girls is going to be 102. How many of them regularly drink soda? 38. Okay. Let me do that calculation again. 38 divided by 102 is equal to which is about 37.3% of the time. Out of the girls, they drink soda for lunch. Okay. Let's just do question number 7. What is the percentage of the students that regularly drink water? So my success is still students that drink water, but out of the whole entire total. So the denominator will have to be the whole entire student population, and looking at that, that should be 239 in the denominator. And as far as what's the percentage of students that regularly drink water? Well, aren't I talking about the number of boys that drink water and girls that drink water? So looking at the column over here, or the total over here, I should have the total of 77 people between boys and girls out of the whole entire class of 239. So do 77 divided by 239. And again, about 0.322, so maybe 32%. Right? So the difference between just asking for the relative frequency, where you're identifying a number from the table, whereas the bottom one with the percentages, you'll have to keep in mind what you learned in 7th grade about success over total, and use a fraction that you're going to change over to a decimal. Okay? Hope that helps. Let me know otherwise.